Welcome to my channel BBC Rare Coins. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the humble US 1-cent penny, but don't be fooled by its size or value on paper. Some of these small copper coins have shocked collectors with price tags soaring into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Top 1. This ordinary-looking penny is worth $58,000. Just 1 cent, but it could change your life. There's a 1974 US penny out there that's rarer than gold, and it could be sitting quietly in someone's drawer right now. The 1974 aluminum penny, a coin never meant to exist, is now one of the most talked about treasures in the world of rare coins. Back in 1974, the US Mint faced a serious problem. The cost of copper was rising fast, and making billions of pennies from pure copper was becoming way too expensive. Pennies were literally costing more to make than they were worth. So the US government did what no one expected: they experimented with a brand new material. The result? An all-aluminum penny. Lightweight. Silvery. Totally different from the iconic copper Lincoln cent. More than 1.5 million of these aluminum pennies were struck in Philadelphia. The US Mint believed this was the future, a cheaper, modern solution to save money on coin production. But the plan didn't last long. Almost immediately, problems started showing up. Medical professionals warned that aluminum coins could interfere with hospital X-ray machines. Vending machine companies said the new penny wouldn't work in their systems. And members of Congress weren't happy that they hadn't been properly consulted. Just like that, the entire aluminum penny project was shut down. Every single 1974 aluminum cent was ordered to be destroyed. The Mint tried to recover them all. They melted them down. They cleared out every last one. Or so they thought. A few of these coins slipped through the cracks. One ended up in the hands of a private collector, a coin that was never supposed to leave the Mint. When it finally surfaced, collectors around the country were stunned. The coin went to auction, and the final price: $58,000. That's right, a coin that cost less than a penny to make sold for more than the average American makes in a year. And here's the most unbelievable part: experts believe there could be more out there. Still hidden. Still waiting to be found. The 1974 aluminum penny is one of the greatest mysteries in American numismatic history. It wasn't just a coin, it was a secret experiment. It weighs just 0.937 grams, less than half the weight of a regular penny. It shines silver instead of the usual copper tone. And while it looks simple at a glance, it represents a forgotten chapter in US Mint history. So how do you know if you found the real deal? First, check the date. It must say 1974. Second, the color should be silver, not copper or bronze. Third, the weight. It should feel much lighter than a normal penny. If you're holding a coin that matches all three, you could be looking at something incredibly rare. But be warned, this coin is surrounded by controversy. The US Mint still considers it government property, since it was never officially released. Owning one could spark legal questions. But collectors are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars just to get one into their collection. That $58,000 price tag. It's real. And the demand is only growing. Some say fewer than a dozen genuine 1974 aluminum pennies still exist. Others believe more are hidden in private collections, long forgotten. One thing is certain: this isn't just pocket change. It's a symbol of rare opportunity. A glimpse into a moment when the US tried to change its money forever, and then buried the evidence. So next time you're sorting through old change, digging through a box of coins, or visiting a flea market, pay attention. That 1 cent could be a $58,000 jackpot. And it's out there, waiting for someone to find it. In the world of rare coins, anything is possible. Even a penny can be priceless. Top 2. Absolutely. Here's a viral, long-form, and highly attractive script focused on the 1979 USA 1-cent penny, including the stunning $76,000 price tag. It's designed for maximum engagement and viewer retention. This might look like a regular penny, but it's not. This is the 1979 US 1-cent penny, and one rare version of it sold for a mind-blowing $76,000. Yes, just 1 cent, turned into over $76,000. How is that possible? What makes this coin so special? And could one of these be hiding in your pocket right now? Let's dive into the unbelievable story of one of the most unexpected treasures in American coin history, the 1979 Lincoln penny. The year was 1979. America was on the edge of a new decade. Gas prices were up, inflation was rising, and the economy was shifting fast. But through all the change, one thing remained the same: the iconic Lincoln cent. A coin so common, so simple, most people never looked at it twice, but collectors know something most people don't. Even the most ordinary coin can carry an extraordinary secret, and that secret, it's hidden in a tiny detail most people miss: mint errors and rare variations that turn a simple coin into a rare gem. In 1979, billions of Lincoln pennies were minted. But among them, a small handful were struck with serious errors, and those errors made all the difference. One of the most valuable versions of the 1979 penny features a dramatic off-center strike, meaning the coin wasn't properly aligned when it was stamped. The design appears shifted, with a large blank space where part of Lincoln's face or the outer rim should be. To collectors, this kind of mistake isn't a flaw, it's a fortune. But there's more. Another rare version includes a double die, a striking error where the design appears doubled, especially on the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. This kind of doubling is incredibly valuable when verified, and nearly impossible to spot unless you're really paying attention. And the most shocking sale. One of these 1979 error pennies, featuring a strong strike error and pristine condition, sold for a staggering $76,000 at auction. That's right, a 1-cent coin sold for the price of a brand new luxury car. But what makes this even more fascinating is that there could be more out there, right now: old jars of change, forgotten piggy banks, antique shops, estate sales. These coins don't shine or sparkle. They don't scream valuable. But to the trained eye, they're gold mines hiding in plain sight. So how do you know if you've got the $76,000 version? Here's what to look for. First, check for off-center striking. If the design looks pushed to one side and part of the coin is blank, that's a rare error. Second, examine the coin under a magnifying glass for doubling, especially on the date, 1979, and the letters, Liberty, or In God We Trust. Third, condition matters. Coins with little to no wear, especially uncirculated examples, bring the highest prices. And finally, authenticity is everything. If you think you've got a rare error penny, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once it's verified, your 1-cent coin might just become a life-changing piece of history. Imagine holding a tiny copper coin that's worth more than a down payment on a house. It's not a fantasy. It's already happened, and it can happen again. The 1979 penny is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and error can collide to create something truly priceless. It proves that sometimes the most valuable things aren't hidden in vaults or behind glass. Sometimes, they're sitting in your pocket. So before you spend that next penny, look twice, because in the world of rare coins, even the smallest detail can be worth $76,000. At BBC Rare Coins, we bring you the wildest coin stories, the rarest finds, and the hidden treasures most people overlook. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. And remember, every coin has a story, and some are worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. Top 3. Sure. Here's a viral, long-form, and engaging script for your YouTube video focused on the 1985 USA 1-cent penny, featuring the rare version that sold for $68,000. This script is built to grab attention, keep viewers watching, and spark curiosity. It's just a penny, or is it? This is the 1985 US 1-cent penny, a coin that millions of people have held, spent, or tossed in a jar without a second thought. But one rare version of this everyday coin shocked collectors when it sold for a jaw-dropping $68,000. Yes, 1 cent turned into $68,000, and what's even crazier, you could have one right now and not even know it. Let's uncover the mystery of the 1985 penny, a coin so common, yet so powerful in the world of rare numismatics. In 1985, the Lincoln cent was alive and well. It still featured the classic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Billions were minted. It was everywhere, in pockets, purses, cash registers, vending machines, but among those billions, a few mistakes were made. And those mistakes turned into some of the most valuable pennies in modern US history. So what made one 1985 penny worth more than most people's yearly salary? It all comes down to mint errors and flawless condition. The most expensive 1985 penny known to collectors features a dramatic double die error, a rare misprint that happens when the coin is struck twice, creating a doubling effect on key features of the coin. On this coin, you can see clear doubling in the words "Liberty, in God we trust," and especially in the date 1985. It's not just a light shadow, it's bold, unmistakable doubling. And to collectors, that kind of error is like gold. But that's not all. The coin that sold for $68,000 wasn't just rare, it was in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded MS-68 read by PCGS. That's an incredibly high grade, especially for a coin that's nearly 4 decades old. When rarity meets condition, the price skyrockets. And that's exactly what happened here. So how can you tell if you're holding one of these hidden treasures? Start by checking your 1985 pennies closely. Grab a magnifying glass and look for signs of doubling on the word liberty, the phrase "I and God we trust," and especially the date 1985. If the letters or numbers appear to have a shadow or a second image, you might have a double die error. Also, look for coins that are shiny, scratch-free, and copper red. These are the coins collectors want most, and if you find one that looks promising, don't spend it. Get it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC, because once it's verified, that 1-cent coin could be worth $68,000 or more. Most people would walk right past a penny on the ground, but what if that little coin was the rare 1985 error? What if it could change your life? In the world of rare coins, it's not about how much something is supposed to be worth. It's about how rare it is, how perfect it is, and how badly collectors want it. So the next time you're sifting through your change, don't ignore the pennies. One of them could be the next big discovery, and just like that, a single cent could become $68,000 in your pocket. At BBC Rare Coins, we bring you the most unbelievable coin stories, rare finds, and valuable tips every week. Hit that like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because you never know what's coming next. Remember, in the world of coins, the smallest change can bring the biggest surprises. Top 4. Absolutely. Here's a viral style, long-form, and attractive YouTube script about the 2016 USA 1-cent penny, featuring a rare error version that sold for a massive $44,000. This version is designed to grab attention fast, hold viewer interest, and encourage engagement. It's just a penny, right? Wrong. This ordinary-looking 2016 US 1-cent penny sold for a jaw-dropping $44,000. Yes, $44,000. And most people would have walked right past it without a second glance. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a coin that could pay for a brand new car. Now ask yourself, have you ever checked your 2016 pennies? This is the unbelievable story of how one of the most recent Lincoln cents became one of the most shocking sales in coin collecting history. By 2016, the Lincoln penny had been around for over 100 years. It was small, copper-coated, and totally taken for granted. Billions were minted that year, most of them destined to live short lives in cash registers, coin jars, and forgotten drawers. But among the sea of ordinary coins, one stood out, not because of how it looked at first glance, but because of a minting mistake so rare, it sent collectors into a frenzy. 1 2016 penny had a serious strike error, combined with pristine condition, and that unique combination made it worth $44,000 at auction. Yes, a 1-cent coin, minted just a few years ago, sold for more than most people make in an entire year. So what made it so special? It all comes down to errors, rarity, and condition. This $44,000 penny had what collectors call a major off-center strike, meaning the coin was misaligned during production. Instead of the design being centered perfectly, it was pushed way to one side, leaving a blank crescent-shaped gap on the coin. The Lincoln portrait was off. The rim was broken. The mint messed up, and collectors loved it. To make it even rarer, this coin was in nearly flawless condition, untouched, uncirculated, and certified by a professional grading service. When you combine an extreme error with perfect preservation, the value goes through the roof. And here's the crazy part. This coin didn't come from 1909 or 1943. It's not a Civil War relic or a Depression-era rarity. It's from 2016, modern, recent, and still out there. That means there could be more of them sitting in change jars, hidden in wallets, passed along in everyday transactions. So here's what to look for in your 2016 pennies. First, check for off-center strikes. Lincoln's head or the rim should look misaligned or incomplete. Second, examine both sides for missing or doubled features. Third, check the condition. Coins that look brand new are worth more, especially if they've never been circulated. If you find a 2016 penny with an error, especially in excellent condition, don't spend it, get it professionally graded by a company like PCGS or NGC. That 1-cent coin could turn into $44,000 in your pocket. In a world where we throw pennies aside, this story is a reminder. Sometimes the most overlooked things are the most valuable. You never know, your next lucky coin might already be in your house. A simple 2016 penny, with a tiny flaw, could be your big break. Here at BBC Rare Coins, we bring you the rarest finds, the biggest surprises, and the stories that prove treasure is hiding in plain sight. So like, subscribe, and tap that bell icon. Because every coin has a story, and some are worth thousands. And remember, 1 penny. 1 error, $44,000. Top 5. Here's a viral, long-form, and highly attractive YouTube script centered around the 1972 USA 1-cent penny, featuring the rare version that sold for a stunning $59,000. It's crafted to hook viewers immediately, keep them engaged, and build curiosity all the way through. It's one of the most common coins in America, the Lincoln cent. But in 1972, something went wrong. A mistake so small, so hidden, most people never even noticed it. Yet today, one of those pennies, a simple 1-cent coin from 1972, sold for an astonishing $59,000. Yes, $59,000 for a penny. This is the unbelievable story of the 1972 double-die penny, one of the most legendary and sought-after coins in US history. And the best part, it could still be hiding in your change. Let's go back to 1972. The US Mint was producing hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents that year, over 5.5 billion to be exact. They all looked the same, or so everyone thought. But at the Philadelphia Mint, something unusual happened. One of the dies, the metal stamps used to create the design on the coins, was misaligned when it was made. Instead of one clean engraving, it struck the coin design twice, slightly off-center each time. The result? A powerful, visible doubled image. This wasn't a slight blur or tiny shadow. The date, 1972, was boldly doubled. The word, liberty, was clearly doubled. Even the motto, "In God We Trust," had strong, visible doubling. This wasn't a normal penny anymore. This was a 1972 doubled die obverse, and it instantly became a holy grail for coin collectors. Fast forward to today, and one of these error coins, in near-perfect condition, sold at auction for $59,000. A coin most people would overlook. A coin people have unknowingly spent. A coin hiding in change jars, drawers, and old piggy banks, now worth tens of thousands of dollars. So how do you know if you found the $59,000 version? Here's exactly what to look for. The coin must be from 1972 and have no mint mark. It was minted in Philadelphia. Use a magnifying glass and check the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and especially the 1972 date. If you see clear, strong doubling, not just a light blur, you might have a winner. The more perfect the coin's condition, the more valuable it is. Uncirculated examples, specially graded MS-65 red or higher by PCGS or NGC, can fetch prices like $59,000 or more. What makes this coin even more incredible is that it was never meant to be rare. The mistake wasn't caught right away. Thousands were released into circulation, many were spent and lost forever, but some survived, and they're still being discovered today. That's why collectors are constantly checking their pennies. Because finding the 1972 double die is like striking gold in copper. You might be thinking, but it's just a penny. That's the beauty of IT. It looks ordinary, but it's not, and that's why it's worth thousands. This isn't just a coin, it's a time capsule. A printing mistake from over 50 years ago that turned a 1-cent piece into a collector's dream. So before you toss your change aside, before you ignore that old penny in your drawer, take a closer look, because that 1972 penny could be your $59,000 discovery. Here on BBC Rare Coins, we bring you stories just like this every week, showcasing the rare, the valuable, and the unbelievable treasures hidden in everyday pocket change. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon, because the next big coin find could be yours. And remember, one penny, one error, $59,000. Still think it's just spare change.